Greetings, YouTube. It is I, Sakarma, coming to you from the other side of my girlfriend's parrot house for total Brohammer. And we're gonna do a little chaos versus wood elf action. I will bring Archie-on. You know, good old Archie, redheaded Archie. And yes, I do watch Riverdale, if that's what you're thinking. It's an awful show with awful writing, but the characters are attractive and some of it can be funny. And I will defend it to the end, my friends. It is a fine show. Garbage television, yes, but a fine show. I digress. Now, I have brought the Chaos Hordes to bear against this pitiful wood elf army. And let's go through army comp real quick because I hate it. Alright, so I brought Archie. What did I bring on Archie? I brought Slayer of Kings, and I'll tell you why later in the game. I brought the Burning Head because it's a solid spell, especially against units with low armor, which is pretty much all the wood elves. Flaming Sword of Ruin to deal with trees, should that be the case. And also it's just a good, general buff spell. I mean, 25% damage isn't crazy special, but it's not bad. And then Cascading Fire Cloak, because it only costs 4 magic, and it's really good to pop on Archie-on or a unit that you need to just win a little battle here and there. You can pass forever. Then he has all the other little goodies. So that's why I brought an Archie-on. As for my army comp, I brought 2 Marauder Horsemen. Horse Masters, rather. I brought and the reason they're deployed kind of funky is because they were hidden. I brought 2 Chaos Warhounds with poison, and the idea being is that they could stop Wild Riders from cycle charging, and then I could get them with some spears, maybe charge in, maybe bring some Forsaken, and try and get rid of that, because I thought that was probably the biggest threat. That's what most builds feature, are at least competitive builds I find feature multiple Wild Riders, and it's tough for Chaos to deal with because they're very fast. And these guys, and Chaos Knights, I mean, they're effective, but they're... no, back. Sorry, guys. Chaos Knights are strong, but they're slow. So, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I brought that. I brought a bunch of Forsaken, I think 3 of them? I brought 4 Forsaken, a bunch of Chaos Marauders, a bunch of Chaos Warriors. You'll see as the game goes on. Just a big line of infantry, couple of cav, some Warhounds to chase down Wild Riders. And, of course, Marauder Horse Masters do pretty decent damage, I think 30. And the range is 90. 37, the range is 90. Their stats aren't terrible. Can't go wrong with those guys. My opponent, on the other hand, brought 1 unit of Glade Riders with Hagmane Tips. Solid choice because they have crazy high range, 150 and 23 damage. Magic, just good all-around unit. I mean, they have fewer models, obviously, than archers. So they're not the greatest to skirmish with, but they are effective. And they're very fast, and their stats aren't terrible to charge with. They brought War Dancers, which, I don't know. I find they perform really well against me in this matchup, but I've tried to use them against other people, and they aren't effective. So I don't know about those guys in this matchup. He brought Wildwood Rangers, which are effective in this matchup because they're armor piercing and really high stats. They can be killed quite easily via, I guess, cycle charging because they don't have that much armor, but I don't know. They are a pretty effective unit. And then Treekin, which are a smart pick against Chaos because Chaos does struggle against large. I mean, you can bring a large unit like Kolek to try and get rid of these guys, but then you're really, putting yourself at risk of getting shot down because the Wood Elves have a lot of counters to large in terms of bows and the Azrai Spear, which are very effective. And then he brought 2 Azrai Spear, as I was talking about them. A Branch Wraith here with Earthblood and Melkoffs, as well as Foe Seeker. And then another thing that gives a bonus 5. And then he has Dirthu, Big Daddy D, with the Sword of Daith, the laser thing that shoots, what's that one called? Lamentation of Despair. Is it called the Sword of Daith? Am I that up to date on my Dirthu nonsense? Come on. My thing's a lot of control here. Dirthu, what is it called? Sword of Daith. Okay, excellent. And he brought Wyson's Wild Form. Okay, cool. So no what are the ones called that does damage? All right, so start the battle. So my opponent here wisely is trying to get not only the higher ground, but these Wildwood Riders get actually a bonus versus large when they're in the forest. So getting them in there is actually a really good move. But I actually was really proud of myself here. I'll slow it down for a second. So we're just doing some skirmishing over here. I'm actually getting the better of them. Maybe because of the trees. I don't know if the pathing works better for spears. But he bunches all his units up here. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a one-shot game because I'm going to do one of these little moves. I'm going to hit him with these wolves, or hounds, whatever you want to call them. And you see I cock up, and look at all these units. They're right there. And it goes through all of them. But I didn't overcast it. And it just does a little bit of damage. And it would have done so much more had I overcast it. It would have done so much damage to these guys. And I really think that was a critical error on my part. Because if I had overcasted it, I think that would have been GG right from the start. It would have decimated all these units. They just don't have the armor. So it was a little nifty strategizing on my part. I don't think I had the magic to overcast it, and I was a little hasty. I sort of jumped on it a little too early. So yeah, that was a big regret of mine because I think that was a really cool move that I pulled off, and I like to show off my cool moves, guys, while I'm on here. But anyway, so that's how the game started, and then my opponent realized that I wasn't going to chase him in the woods. As this was happening, I was realigning all my soldiers. Like, why bother charging him? I'm going to win the skirmish fight. I have 2 to his 1, and he's not microing them effectively enough to use that extra 50 range. So I was like, all right. And then I'm starting throwing these guys here, getting some volleys in there. I'm trying to keep my wolves out, my warhounds rather. Keep on the wolves, my warhounds around. I should have repositioned these guys further out. That's another mistake I made, to give myself more room. But I didn't do that. And yeah, so instead they're going to get the engagement they want, where I should have, and again, I didn't need to charge. I did not need to charge. I should have moved my guys back. I should have reorganized. I do have a unit of Chaos Lances. Oh, right. So I forgot to mention those guys earlier on, but they do exist. And you can see their speed is 66. So I think they're quite inefficient in this game, especially due to the fact that there's so many nets, so many different ways to counter them. But anyways, my opponent charges, and I think I can get a nice wraparound. I have a lot of units Forsaken, Chaos Warriors Forsaken. I probably should have charged, but I didn't bother because I figured the Treekin would take the brunt of that. And Treekin are just going to, they won't do a lot of damage, but they are going to muck up a lot of the units, and they're going to make it very difficult to hit. And then he casts right away. What's he cast over here? He casts something. Oh, he probably cast sort of Date. So he's doing damage to all my units in this death blob. But I'm thinking, okay, his range are off the field rather. These War Dancers are out of the battle. He does have War Dancer with Azrai Spear on the flanks here, but I figure I can hit them. And I have such overwhelming infantry blobs, and I cast Flaming Sword of Wrath and Ruin, so they're going to take down these Treekin very quickly. And I don't know, it just looks so good for me. I forget a Forsaken over here, but they'll come back soon enough. I charge these War Dancers because I can just do a lot of damage. I figured these guys would be able to kill these Azrai Spear very quickly, but they are not being very effective. And over here, I mean, my Forsaken did like no damage to Wildwood Rangers, and that makes sense. They're far more costly, but yeah, he gets a nice little Pungent Penumbra through my units. It does a good amount of damage, but you can just see I'm getting bummed out in a lot of places. But Archie-on over here is 808, or he did for a brief moment, 808 attack, and that's why you bring Slayer of Kings. So if you pop Slayer of Kings alongside the Cascading Fire Cloak, he goes to like obscene amounts of damage. I mean, it's not armor piercing, of course, but it goes super, super high, and he can be an absolute nightmare. And you can see he did a lot of damage on Dirthu, and this is probably while Dirthu being healed. But I'm trying to cycle charge his Azrai Spears because they don't have a lot of armor. But these guys are so slow, so they take so much damage when they're running away, and they just get, caught up on things. Meanwhile, my infantry corps is just getting smashed, and one of the things I hate about Chaos is, look at these guys. Those are Marauders. Okay, fair enough. But I don't know. They just retreat so early. I mean, these guys have the same amount of health, but just way higher leadership. Like, it's not even close. So it's a little ridiculous. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get him out of position. I'm trying to do some cycle charges, but my infantry corps just collapsed. Dirthu was able to just fuck everything up, and nothing I had was able to beat him, along with the Treekin and the healing. So things are not looking good for Team Sakarma over here. I still have mobility. I still have a lot of units that I can use to cycle charge, but right now he has way too many healthy units, and my guys are getting fucked. I mean, they're all severely damaged. Again, and even this charge did such little damage. You never know how Cav is going to perform in this game. Sometimes they're amazing, sometimes it's just underwhelming, because that charge was, I mean, it wasn't, I guess they got impeded by the Treekin, but still, there's enough guys there that should have just rolled over them, especially with their huge charge bonus and the lack of armor. But over here, we got some Kratos Marauders fighting these guys, and they're not going to be doing much damage. Yeah, and pretty much my whole army is routed. I have Archie-on, which is good, and he's my caster. I have a lot of guys who can cycle charge. Nice little recharge on there. Did a little bit of damage. And I gotta get those guys out immediately. But there's Azrai Spear, so they're gonna die very quickly. I have some wolves over there. I'm gonna need to bring back. He does cast a good Earthblood on these units. Again, the charge did nothing. It did so little damage. I get this Treekin are shielding it. I suppose that's the deal. But yeah, and they die so quickly. These guys. I don't think those guys are really worth it. I am able to catch his Branch Wraith out here. I baited him out, and he charged me. So I was able to catch him when he was looking. He brought his Blade back. I should have focused on this guy. Over here, I forgot these Marauder Horsemen, so they got murdered. Yeah, and it's not looking good at this point. I am trying to cycle charge around death, but things are not going well. So I'm reforming, and I'm going to try and really trying to eliminate the Branch Wraith, because without healing, I figure one Slayer of Kings, and I pop Cascading Fire Cloak, I should be able to 1v1 Dirthu, potentially. The problem is he has so much infantry left, and even all these cycle charging and surrounds, and from Archie-on, from these Forsaken in the back, they're just not going down. He does pop on their Earthblood. They're poisoned now. Everything's poisoned. It's just not enough. Over here, he has a very healthy unit of Treekin, and he still has a very healthy unit of Wild Rangers. It's just, these guys are my one hope at this point, the Chaos Lances. I mean, if they performed like they did in Game 1, or like Cavalry did in Game 1, this game would be very winnable, only because cycle charging was devastating that game. You can see here, I want to get Archie-on out of the way, but the good part is that they gather around him, so they're totally open to this charge, and yeah, just underwhelming. That's like, what, 5-8% on a straight charge? I mean, they didn't have the most momentum, but a straight charge on an unarmored unit by a very, very heavy cav unit was just, kind of sad. Over here, I get all these guys caught up on the Treekin. Big mistake. I should have run them away, and I think I do eventually pull them out. But they're just marauders, mainly. Some warriors, but they're just not, doing the job. Again, the Chaos Lances, because they're so slow, keep getting caught by the Azrai Spear, who have like 46 speed. So only 20 less speed, which is not that much really, especially as they have bigger models. And look, they just die as they're charging in over and over again. So yeah, just ineffective. I think faster cav, gain momentum faster, and they're able to pull out much faster, so they're far more effective. It's one of the reasons Dragon Pigeons are actually one of the better cav units in this game, despite their stats being, unlikely being one of the better ones. But anyways, I'm still looking for places to hit them from the flank. I'm still trying to recover here. I send these guys over here against these Azrai Spears because they're quite healthy, and with the poison, I should be able to kill them. I figure I'm able to pick these guys off. They're almost dead, but I can't stay in fighting or in combat for too long. Over here, I'm able to get one Wild Ranger out. And his forces are pretty dwindled. I mean, again, I still think Archie-on can 1v1 Dirthu. It's just how do I deal with this infantry corps? The treemen, whatever, they won't do much damage. If I can get these guys out of the game, I can 1v1 Dirthu quick enough. And I think this is my chance. Here I go. I think I pop both abilities, or I do at one point. Or maybe, I think I try and run away first. And these Azrai Spears are still fighting, Jesus. But I run away, and then I want to get Dirthu, not charging Archie-on, and also recover these Chaos Marauders. And then I turn around here, and I'm like, all right, here, balls to the wall, let's do it. I get him, see, 808 damage, and let's just pause this real quick. 808 damage. And that's 240 armor piercing. That's the problem also, is it doesn't do a lot of armor piercing, but you get Slayer of Kings, and you pop Cascading Fire Cloak, which I think I did do. I don't know if it's going to register yet. But yeah, it can make him an absolute powerhouse. And, oh, there it goes. So now he's at like 838 damage. A lot of that's armor piercing, and he should be able to, just beat Dirthu down. We're going to see a hit here if he gets a hit on. No, he's not getting a hit. Oh, there he goes. He did like 600 damage. See, that's a ton. That's 10% of Dirthu's health in a single swing. So he's quite effective in that regard. Then I cast Flaming Sword of Wrath and Ruin on him. I'm just like going all out here, getting the fire damage. He's at 890 right now. But yeah, it's just not enough. And I don't understand why. He should have hit Dirthu more. Oh, he is kicking Dirthu's ass. See, so I was very correct that he could have 1v1 Dirthu. And he's real close to getting him down. He's so close, but I just think the spells wear off. And once they're gone, he just is a pretty middling. I mean, he has great stats, but not enough to take down Dirthu. Because if I take Dirthu down, I can cycle charge. I have a chance. But, no, it's not looking good. But we'll see. Maybe I can get him. Maybe I can put him down. I'm so close. Dirthu's, even if he starts routing at 1800, that's huge. He gets Foe Seeker off, and that's going to not do much. Just increase his vigor, I guess. I get these guys coming back in for a recharge. And it's just, it's really close. Dirthu gets knocked back. But Archie-on can just not get another hit, and he's fighting a lot of armor piercing. And it's just, he runs Dirthu away. And now all my units have left. Archie-on's on his own. I'm trying to run around, but it's over. So yeah, it was a little final push by myself. Try and get rid of Dirthu, a little GG to my opponent. Right, so, good game. I was a little upset with myself because I think if I'd overcast that Burning Head. Oh, first of all, these guys were crazy high XP. I don't know what they were beforehand, but now, gold chevrons. So I didn't realize that, which explains how they were able to just dust all my infantry. Because you're not going to bring Chosen with Great Axes. I mean, you might bring regular Chosen. That could be a smart pick in this matchup. But you're not going to bring Chosen with Great Axes. So these guys will be very effective against pretty much all the infantry. I don't know how they do against regular Chosen. I'd like to test that, but they probably perform pretty well. Regardless, with these chevrons, they're very effective. Treekin mixed in there, also a great choice, because the only units that they have to counter them as Chaos are Shaggoths or Dragon Ogres, both of which are very risky picks in this matchup. Throwing Axes, which, again, risky picks because they can be clearly outgunned by Hagbane tips. And what else can they bring that are anti-large? Shaggoths, Halberds, and Throwing Axes. I guess Manticores wouldn't be terrible at dragons, but then again, that's a big risk because you can get netted and shot. But regardless, there's not a lot of answers they have to Trinket, not effective answers. And then these guys mixed in there will pretty much beat the bones off of anything that Chaos can bring. Chaos Lances got some 3 kills, but I don't know. I don't think they performed very well. I could have brought 2 extra units of infantry if I had not brought them. I don't know if that would have changed the game, but pardon me, I think it would have been better for me. Now, on my opponent's side, Dirthu is always a strong pick in this matchup because it's hard for them to counter unless they bring Shagas, which I've explained before, are tough. War Dancers can't go wrong. Wild Rangers, I mean, you'll get a lot of people giving different opinions on these guys. They're very effective in this matchup, in my opinion. They can be taken down. They are by no means unbeatable, but they are quite effective in this matchup, especially interspersed with Treekin, because they can block. These guys can also block Chariots and a whole lot of other units that will render these guys ineffective. So, yeah, good pick overall by my opponent. Archie, how did he perform? Because I've been playing a lot of games with Archie-on, and I've been losing a lot of games as Archie-on, as Archie, the Ever-Chosen. I don't know. Archie, he has such great stats. He has a lot of utility in terms of his spells and abilities. I just find he just never performs for me. I've yet to find a match where I've been like, ooh, Archie's pulled this one out. Whereas when I played as Dirthu or Teclis or Tyrion or Malekith, obviously, or Krokar, any of those great lords, you've seen games where they dominate. Archie is never I mean, you can get a great burning head, could be huge. I don't know. He just doesn't see. His stats speak to a powerhouse that he just doesn't represent. So I was a little sad about Archie because he has 5,000 health and he has like 78 melee attack and like 60 something melee defense and all these cool stats and these ways to buff himself, but I don't know, just never quite performs for me. So, anyways, GG to Khalid. Hope to get you back for sweet vengeance. But until then, enjoy your games on Warhammer, and thanks guys for tuning in to Archie and Sakarma. See you guys later.